There we go, and that is us live. Another MMA UK live video coming to you tonight, guys. As always, thanks for tuning in. We really do appreciate your support. And Ross The Hitman Houston, it's been a minute, buddy. How you keeping?
It's been a wee while, hasn't it? Yeah, doing good, mate. Doing good. Just laying low, training hard, and actually, it's been a wee while since I fought, man. So here we are, back in
Yeah,
action.
it's been a bit of a mad few months, obviously with COVID and everything. The last time I saw you was obviously at the Dalby fight. Another crazy night, but a year out, we've got some big news. You're going to be fighting on the next Bellator card, the first ever one in Paris, the first ever MMA show in Paris, and you've got a pretty big fight as well. You've got a man by the name of Michael Venom Page, a huge star in the sport, a big welterweight, and your first outing with the promotion. How does it feel to get a big fight like that first time out with Bellator?
It feels good, you know. It's very motivating. I kind of that's obviously we know each other for a few years now. I'm always looking for these big fights.
Yeah.
I'm always looking to call out the biggest name possible within reason. The ones that are a bit of a possibility, and you know we've hit the jackpot here. You know what I mean? And I don't know if he knows what he's getting himself in for because I think I'm a bad matchup for him.
Yeah. What does it mean to be doing it in Paris as well, first time?
You know, I didn't really know it was the whole the history behind kind of like with the MMA and all that. I thought France did MMA shows anyway, so when someone told me it was like the first major event in French history, it makes it quite cool. And like my manager was like, "Your headline," and I'm kind of like, then it came out and it was like Congo and all that, and then I was like, "What's going on?" I think they got like two cards on the same night. Bellator are a bit weird like that, you know what I mean? They sometimes have like two events on the same night.
So, were you asking for the MVP fight all along, or was it just a case of you asking for the biggest fight you would get, or was this one specifically that you thought you would get?
Yeah, the bigger the name, the better. So I said when I signed, I never just being there to make up the numbers. I know everyone's kind of like should have that mindset, but that's just the way I think. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be happy. Obviously, you got to take what you're given, especially being out for like a year. I wouldn't be happy. Like, I could have taken lesser opponents and kind of not called out the big names. Just got a payday, but it's not my style. You know what I mean? I want to be getting up the ladder and getting the big names. So I was asking for the big names. Obviously, we were matched up against Neiman Gracie, who is a big name like for the hardcore fans. And obviously his skill set. He just beat John Fitch at the weekend. He won by heel hook. His skill set's obviously very high level, but to get MVP, who's obviously a completely different threat in terms of skill set, but a much bigger name, just because he's a household name, isn't he? So yeah, I'm delighted. I did specifically call out MVP a few times as well. I ain't like bad mouthed him or anything or talked any crap. I'm just like, look, let's get it on, and here we are.
Yeah, and you said obviously you think it's a bad matchup for him. What do you think in your style makes it that way?
I think MVP kind of because he's a bit of a showman. I think like I'd imagine pre-fight and kind of like antics just before the fight, or even like in between exchanges when you're in the cage. He gets in people's heads. You know what I mean? I think people look like they get quite flustered with that kind of opponent in front of them. But as I've said for years now, like my mental aspect of my game is my strongest point, man. So he ain't gonna phase me in the slightest. So I think obviously my mental strength, I come forward a lot, but obviously I don't want to be taking as many shots as I have in the last two fights. You know what I mean? So I've been working on the skills in the since the Dalby fight defensively, but I think because I've got that forward pressure, I'm a good wrestler, and I'm going to be a lot stronger than him. And I just think like I'm just put that pressure on him. Once I get my hands on him, I get my hands around his waist, he's going to drag him down and choke his ass out.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting matchup. Like I said, with you, you never seem to lose composure. You come forward with MVP. He is very much a showman. So I think stylistically, it's a great matchup on paper, and
I can't just come forward just like that. You know what I mean? I've been speaking to obviously my coaches and all that, and we've kind of like obviously he's a good counter striker, so I'm not just going to kind of like bulldoze forward so much. Like when I got caught against Dalby, it started second round. That was a bit stupid. So we're thinking about it a wee bit more now. Got a lot of feints, cutting off, working off the centre line and stuff like that, and just putting that constant pressure on him. But pressure but patience, you know what I mean? Pressure but patience.
Yeah, I think that's one thing with you as well, Ross. Is you're very sort of analytical of yourself. I know literally that I interviewed you after you fought Dalby, and as soon as you were getting backstage, it was kind of, I should have done this better. I should have done that. I should have done that better. I need to move my head more. You were instantly looking at that kind of ways to improve. And I mean, what have you been doing behind the scenes over the last year? I know I've seen you training a little bit. Obviously, with Darren Till, you've done a bit with Leon and Fabian. What's sort of been your main things you've been working on? Or main just sort of even generally, where have you been training over the last few months?
Yeah, like you said, I've been to them two camps, Renegade and Carbon. But to be honest, like the whole of my career, I pretty much do 99% of it up in Inverness. We actually through lockdown, we were pretty limited to what we could do in terms of like. Obviously, I had my gym, so I could still get in there. It didn't really stop me, but
Yeah.
I was doing a lot of like working on my condition and I'm already fit and strong, man, but I'm like 10 times better in all aspects of my physicality and my cardio now. I've been working with my conditioning coach, Ian Finley, and I was working one-to-one with Cam Chengas, obviously you know him. So we were just kind of like working a small group, and so like the condition side of things is massively improved. Me and Cam been working on the skill side of my game, and we've been working with some high level wrestlers as well. So yeah, we've got a few tricks up our sleeve to get him done. I've been sparring. I've got a good guy at my gym, Ross Circuit. He's a young lad. He's like 19. He's at 6'5". So I've been doing a lot of sparring with him. He's a good striker. Just to kind of like replicate MVP style. You know what I mean? So we're ready, man. I'm just looking forward to getting back, and I'm just excited, and I'm glad, man. Because it's only like a year or something, man. It's crazy. You know what I mean? I was like, the time is ticking away, and but I'm glad in a way that it's kind of like, if someone said, listen, you got to wait this long, but you get a match shot of MVP, then I would have waited. If they told me that like 6 months ago, so I would have waited and missed out on another fight, just because this, the name that he's got is gonna, once I beat him on October 10th, my name's gonna get up there, and I'm gonna get the respect on the world stage, not just European level.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's on the cards. A big win here really pushes you forward. I mean, I kind of want to cast it back a little bit, Ross, because obviously you said it's been a while. The last time we saw you, it was, you were fighting against Nicholas Dalby. You were the Cage Warriors welterweight champion. Dalby was the interim champion of that division at the time. You had this epic 2-round war, which ended up, such a bloodbath that the whole fight got called off. I don't know if there was some issues with the canvas, but it was too slippery to carry on, and I rightfully thought that the fight got called there with the amount of blood that was sort of coming from both you guys. But what kind of happened then? Because I know it kind of seemed like there was a little bit of bitterness between you and the promotion with Cage Warriors, and there was a lot of sort of things going off on social media. What happened there that sort of resulted in this move for you to Bellator as opposed to defending the belt again?
I just wasn't really motivated to fight for Cage Warriors anymore. I kind of felt like my journey had ended with them, and I kind of I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't motivated, and I think it's too much of a dangerous game to step in the cage if you're not motivated. You know what I mean? Because that's when you get hurt. So I just didn't see anyone left in the division who I was motivated to fight. You know what I mean? I kind of end up fighting these guys who, started came to the promotion 5 fights after I have. You know what I mean? So I was kind of I just wasn't really motivated, to be honest. There's a few other aspects and all that, and obviously I'm 29. I've been fighting for a while, so the financial side of things came into play as well. So yeah, there's kind of a bit of a fallout. And obviously, looking back in hindsight, I do owe Cage Warriors a lot, because obviously they put me in the position and give me the name and the reputation through that promotion. You know what I mean? Because obviously it's a very well respected promotion. You know what I mean? So I owe him a lot for that. But just my time had finished with him. So it is what it is. And then we just managed to get the contract ended. Became a free agent, and then just we took what offer was best. And Bellator, obviously they came with a real good offer. But a big factor of it was the depth of their welterweight division.
Yeah.
like like Fitch, McDonald at the time, Lima, MVP Daly, and all that. You know what I mean? And there's like just there's some crazy like Dazakhstani welterweights and all that. You know, like 28 and and stuff. Yeah, I've never heard of them, but I'd imagine they're quite good. So I just think it's a good move for me, to show that, you know, I'm not only the number one welterweight in Europe, but up there in the world as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. One thing I did want to ask Ross, while we sort of on that, you know, it was such a crazy fight with Dalby. Is there any sort of, not maybe regret's the wrong word, but is there any sort of longing from you to have that rematch with him and sort of get because I think he was ruled as a no contest in the end. But was there any sort of thought after, like, I really want to get that win over Dalby?
Yeah, I'd love to get the rematch with Dalby, and I know I'd get the win. You know, there's a few mistakes I made in the fight. But you know, I'm not going to chase it. Our paths have kind of gone separate ways. But I'll get on with Dalby, to be honest. You know, we spoke a wee bit back and forth. He's kind of like, once you get to name him a bit more. Not that I know him that well. He's not a bad guy. So yeah, I guess it would be cool down the line, man. But you know what, I've come into my prime now, and Dalby's a good bit older than me, so it just depends what's out there and see what's up, man. But who knows, man? You never know what's going to happen, man. And obviously the interest would be there for the rematch. So who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah. Well, obviously you found this new home now at Bellator. They obviously give you the deal you wanted. What do you think is next? If you go out, you get a big win, a big performance over MVP, a huge name, as you said earlier on. What do you see as the sort of next step for you? Is it to go over to, you know, break out of that European sort of mold and go fight over in the States against a bigger name, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Like that was one of the things when we signed the deal was we were going to get given these big names. You know, I didn't want to fight like on the undercard of a Newcastle card or something like that. I mean, no disrespect, it's sort of a good position to be in, but I kind of like you know, that was just obviously we were in a good position. We were undefeated. We had the cage road belt, so we had a good bargaining position. I mean, so we just kind of like got a good. My manager Kay got us a good deal and good agreement. So yeah, once we beat MVP, it's gonna. I'll probably call it. I'll call out Lima. I know I probably won't get it, but just to start, just to, you know, just because that's the goal, man. And I will get it at some point. But there's probably a few people in front of us. But you know, once we finish MVP, it's definitely gonna get us up there. But I can't even think of their names. It was like is it Karashov maybe? I don't. I haven't really looked too much. I obviously I know Lima's the champion, and MVP is the next on the hit list, and that's about it.
You got big things planned, basically, Ross. I think is the overall
Yeah, we're getting
sentiment
that.
here,
We're
isn't
getting
it?
that Bellator title 100%, man. And if people can say what they want, man, but it's going to happen. Obviously, isn't it? It's a step up from Cage Warriors, but you know, I don't feel like I've even formed anywhere near my potential in Cage Warriors, and I still got through undefeated and got the title.
Yeah.
So let's get it.
8-0 at Cage Warriors, the perfect time to sort of make that jump, I think, in the.
I can't hear. How is that now? Can you hear me now? I, I think you can hear me, but I don't know. Is this the sounds just stopped all of a sudden? I'm not sure why. 2 seconds.
Right. Can you hear me?
There we go. I switched off my Bluetooth. Maybe it connected to something. There we go.
Do you know what I think it was? I think I've unplugged the headphone jack on my speakers by mistake when I moved, and it's gone off. So
All
yeah,
right.
there we go. Bit of a panic there, technology, but
All
yeah.
good. All
So
good.
what I was going to say, Ross, is we've got a couple of questions coming in from Instagram, right? So I just want to read these out to you because we've got people sending in a lot of messages. You've obviously got a big fan base up in Scotland, and a lot of people want to get them in, so get through as many as we can. The first one is from Gibby67, and he says, "Does it motivate you that you could soon be the first Scottish champion in the big league promotions?"
Oh, for sure, that'd be class. Yeah, man, it's be cool. I'm all about like kind of like leaving a bit of a mark. Once I'm done, leave my mark and kind of like the Scottish MMA scene, and in particular the Highlands, the Scottish Highlands MMA scene. Once I'm done, man. So for sure, man, that motivates me massively.
Yeah. So yeah, good question there. We've got another one that is coming in from MMA_Al. How do you see yourself winning the fight against MVP?
I think a second round finish, rear naked choke.
Bro. Yeah, do you know what, that was my prediction as well, a rear naked choke. So I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna maybe set a few quid on that one there.
Let's get it.
We've got another one who's asking. The name is Odran.McLeod02, and he's asking about your Scottish connection. Are your parents Scottish? And good luck in the next fight, he's saying.
Yeah, it's probably clear. I probably should have cleared this a few years back, to be honest, because I was seeing with the Scottish flags, and then you hear me speak. It's yeah, my mum and dad are both Scottish. My dad was born in Glasgow. My mum was born in Aberdeen. So I've got Scottish blood. We got that's why I moved back up to the Highlands, because the whole like family heritage is from up north. My dad moved down like to the West Midlands. And that's where I was born. He did it for work. He was involved in agricultural work. So he got a job offer down there, and obviously I was born down in the West Midlands in Stafford, and grew up down there. So I didn't move back up, and like we always went back and forth because we got like a family croft, which is like a farming house with like farming land and all that. So we've always been up and down like through school holidays and all that. But obviously, like going to school down south and all that, the accent's kind of kind of stuck, and I don't, I think you kind of get stuck with it when you grow up with an accent. But yeah, it's a fully Scottish blood, and obviously I've got some good mates and good connections down south, but I represent Scotland.
Yeah.
And
You've always had that Scottish identity, and even though you were sort of growing up most of the time in England, you've always identified with that Scottish nationality, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I take pride in it. I mean, I'm kind of like carrying the flag. Obviously, there's a few of us carrying the flag on the bigger promotions. So yeah, I take pride in that, and yeah, we've got quite a lot of fighting, like what's the word? Like history in our family of fighting as well. My dad was a good level boxer. My granddad, my dad's dad, was he ran Muirvoid Amateur Boxing Club, which is kind of like a local boxing club. And then like my great granddad boxed. I think my mom's great granddad ran a boxing club and boxed down in Glasgow. You know what I mean? So it's all track it back. It's all kind of like fighting and fighting related, and a lot of Scottish heritage. Like
Yeah, so that's actually a good question. So that clears that one up. But
yeah, I probably should still keep my mouth closed on the mic afterwards.
Yeah, with that as well, Ross. What I wanted to say is, I think still to this day, my favourite walkout was when you won the title in Birmingham, when you came out with all your boys with the Scottish flags to 500 miles. That was.
A few of my mates up here think that was cheesy.
Do you know what? I thought that was my favourite walkout of all time. I think that was one of the best I've seen live, definitely. So
it was a good one, man. That was a one-hit wonder just for the title fight.
Yeah, no, that was my favourite. That one, and when Jack Shawkett used to come out 2-7 Army, I used to like as well down in Cardiff. Those two were my
down in the Ice Arena. That was a good one. That was a good one. Good old Jack Shaw, man, a beast.
Yeah, no, definitely. And what's like as well? I know, like obviously we've been sort of seeing each other at shows for a while now, and you sort of came out at the same time as Jack, didn't you? You were both fighting in those Newport shows. You were headlining cards, and he was headlining cards. He's obviously gone to UFC now. You're at Bellator with a huge front in front of you. What's it like to sort of see yourself coming up alongside guys like that at the same time?
Yeah, it's class, man. It's obviously we came from the same time, but I look up to Jack. You know what I mean? I think he's just kind of like it's just cool to see his journey. Like I got a lot of respect for Jack and his dad, Richard. I think call him Shaky. Yeah, I got a lot of respect for them. He's Jack. Yeah, Jack just fucking tore through he just tore through the Cage Warriors division, didn't he? He was just clinical, finishing everyone. And yeah, it was just good to see him tear it up and make his way up there. And now he's I think he's kind of like, it's one of these, you get a lot of good people who go up to UFC with good styles and all that, but it's kind of like, he's quite like he's clinical and he finishes everyone, but it's kind of like he doesn't really make mistakes either. You know what I mean? You kind of like, you see some people fighting UFC and you're like, yeah, he's good and he'll scrap, but if he gets caught or whatever, blah blah blah, he could get in trouble. But I can see Jack going all the way, to be honest. Yeah, so it was quite cool. I mean, look, it's obviously I was thinking about my dad as well. It's good to see the Jack doing well, man. Really good.
Yeah. I think obviously, like you said there, Jack's adjusted to that level jump. Is that something you're planning for, that adjustment of stepping up? Obviously, you mastered a Cage Warriors, you won the belt, but obviously you're stepping up on a kind of a more global stage now. Is that something you're accounting for when you take this fight with Michael?
Yeah, for sure. I think probably quite similar in mindset with Jack. Like, and we're looking to, obviously we've said UFC top, which is obviously is in terms of like the overall competition, but we're always looking for the toughest challenge to get to the top. And who knows what will happen once I smash MVP, I'll get that Bellator title, man, and we'll see what's up. So who knows, man? But yeah, man, I'm always looking for the biggest and hardest fights to show everyone what level I'm at, because I just know whoever I'm stepping in front of on fight night. It doesn't matter about the name, the record, the style, or the reputation you've got. I'm going to get my hand raised, and that's exactly what's going to happen in Paris, Louis. We're going to get it done, no doubt about it.
I don't doubt it, mate. And Peter Knox is asking, how exciting will it be to fight in front of fans again? I think there is going to be a small crowd in Paris, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I was quite surprised about that. So like they're going to cap it at 5,000. So that'll be quite cool, to be honest. I was kind of thinking, I thought it was going to be no crowd, which would be quite cool, just because it's kind of like a one-time thing. You kind of like, after this year, it might not happen again. So it would be quite cool to have like fighting, like kind of what I mean, like some back of the gym, kind of like straightener, you know what I mean? But it'll be quite cool, to be honest. Not that I'm going to understand what any of them are saying, but we'll hear some weird, funky French chants. But yeah, it'll be good just to get back to it, to be honest. But wherever there's fans there, or there's just me and him, man, it's not going to phase me at all, and it's not going to change the result. But it will be cool.
Yeah, no, definitely. It'll be a great experience. I mean, I was saying to some of the guys, I'd love to get over, but obviously with the quarantine rules now with travel, it looks like it could be too difficult. But I mean, even if it is a lot of French guys, I think with two English guys on the card, it's not really going to be for against either of you. So I think it's going to be interesting, especially with it being the first time in Paris. You think those guys are going to be like super amped up to get a fight over there, wouldn't you?
You would. I don't know how. Yeah, I think they said 5,000 people, but I don't know how like cautious like the French people are going to be about going to events and all. I don't know. Obviously, every kind of area and country is a wee bit different in their mindset, aren't they? So they could open it to 5,000 people, but then everyone's like, "Nah, I ain't doing that because it's going to spread it." You know what I mean? But who knows, man? Who knows? But I don't know who else is on the card, to be honest. I
was Czech Congo is in the main event, isn't
he? Yeah. I've heard one or two, but I don't know if they've been announced yet, so best not say anything. But yeah, man, it'll be cool to. It's my first fight overseas. I've only gone to places like I've never gone somewhere exotic before, so it's been like Newport and Cardiff.
Newport and Cardiff's exotic, Ross. I don't know what you're talking about, mate.
It will be cool to fight overseas. Chicago would have been cool as well. I was buzzing for that, man. Because I was watching that the Michael Jordan Last Dance documentary, and I think Cam told me, I didn't know, but supposedly it was in like the state. It was going to be in the Bulls Stadium. Like Cam told me, but that would have been cool, man. You know what I mean? But we'll get over there. But yeah, France is going to be quite cool because before when I started taking MMA seriously is when I worked offshore a while back, I was working over in France on like the oil pipes on the land, on like landlines. And good job, whatever, a bit of cash. But that's the last time I was there. You know what I mean? I was kind of like, when I was over there, I was like, screw this, man. I don't want to be doing this. I want to do MMA. And then, all these years later, I'll be coming back to fight in Paris on the first major show.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be. It's a big deal. It's a very big deal because I think no doubt Cage Warriors are gonna try and go there, and even the UFC, you got to think gonna want to put a big show there later on in the year. So for you to be that first guy at co-main event is a massive deal. So yeah, it's a great opportunity for you to show your stuff there. Joe Barton is asking, your goal at Cage Warriors was to get into the UFC. Has that goal changed now that you're in Bellator? Good question, Joe Barton.
You know what, it's kind of like things. It's a tough one, isn't it? Because it kind of like things like, obviously you got to adapt with the times and adapt with your situations. And right now, like, not that it's ever been about that, but I know what I'm like, the move I made with Bellator is far more than like anything I could have got at the UFC. You know what I mean? And I know the fight, like, if I got a UFC and I was kind of like fighting in the prelims, against Joe Bloggs, obviously he'd be a good fighter, but I think fighting MVP and in Paris is far more, is a lot bigger than I could have got fighting on UFC prelim card, and it does a lot more for my career. So who knows what's gonna happen? Maybe I'll once I take out MVP, get the Bellator title, I could cross over, and that I'll go in at like a top 15 level rather than work my way up. You know what I mean? And maybe and on a better deal than I would have worked my way up. So I don't know. I'll have to play things as they come, man. But I'm in a good position, and I'm happy and I'm motivated. That's the main thing, because we bring it right back to what I said about Cage Warriors after that Derby fight, and I had a good time at Cage Warriors whilst I was there. It's all about motivation, and I'm super motivated for this fight, man. So it's kind of like another injection of life. You know what I mean? I kind of had my thingy on my rise on Cage Warriors, got to the top, got the belt, and then it was like, it's kind of like didn't go the way I expected, for the story to end with them. And then I was like, what's going to happen now? And then it's kind of like, this is just going to be the start of the second phase and climb into the world class level.
Yeah, no, we're very much looking forward to that. And just before we go on, I've just got to say one more thing, that we've actually got a show going out on Sunday evening, which I think you're going to be a part of, Ross, with the MMA UK late show on Sunday evening. That's going to be based around Bellator. There's going to be a lot of fighters from Bellator on that show, so make sure you tune into that one, guys. It's going to be another good one. Obviously Ross and a number of other fighters are going to be on there, so make sure you give that one a listen. Ross, what I did want to ask you, changing the subject slightly, was obviously you MMA is your life at the moment. You train, you fight, you coach. What guys have you got coming up with you at the moment? Who's kind of the next Ross Houston's coming through? Do you think?
Well, it's the guy I mentioned earlier that I'm doing all my training with, Ross Circuit. We call him Big Ross because he's 19, but he came in. He was always quite tall, but he's like 6'5" now, and he's only 19 years old, and he's really good, super sharp striker. He came from our coach Mitchell Follett brought him in, and he got him to win a British K1 title. So he's got a really good striking background. And then he's come over to MMA now. He's still working with all the coaches and that, but yeah, he's good, man, because his wrestling's getting good, his scrambling's getting good. So he's definitely one to look out for, and he's good because he's a similar weight to me. So yeah, Ross Circuit's one. We've got young Finn Wright, who's very good. Solid all round game, to be honest. And we've got a few coming up the ranks, to be honest. Obviously Corona's kind of like, so you kind of like you see like some of them who, obviously a lot of them have been coming in still or doing the work, but then some people they use it as an excuse to chill out. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. Yeah, but I'd say them two.
You still enjoying it, Ross? The coaching side of things. You've obviously been a martial artist since I've known you. You love to fight, but you've always been really involved with your teammates as well. Is that something that still you're motivated to do?
Yeah, I am. I like working. I only like working with fighters, though, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't coach many classes. One full timetables there. maybe only I run like the comp team class in the morning, and that's about it. And I get involved in it as well, and I'll run like one evening session, but I don't coach that much. I only like working with people who kind of want to fight. You know what I mean? Because then I kind of like,
Yeah.
if they're not doing something, I'd be like, well, like it or lump it, you want to fight. This is how it's done, man. I can't, you know. And even though as a business, you know, not everyone wants to fight, but that's just the people that I train. I've got other coaches in the club who will take other classes and all that. But yeah, I enjoy working with people who want to be there and want to fight. That's about it.
Yeah. Right, comment from Oban Elliott. Big shout out to Oban with a big fight coming up. He says, awesome move going to Bellator, mate. Fully backed you. It's like WBA, WBO, WBC in boxing, and the best fighters always prove themselves. And that's the end of. So, yeah, big shout out for Oban Elliott there.
For sure, man.
Peter Knott is saying Bellator Scotland with a title fight for Ross. That wouldn't be bad, would it?
That wouldn't be bad at all. Sounds very good.
And Martin McKinsey is agreeing. He's saying title fight at the Hydro. Again, I'd definitely be down for that one.
Yeah, we've got some sick fighters coming through. We've got actually Bongard, Duncan, Whiteford, who are training for the first time before. He's actually he coached the class. Yeah, some very, very good. We've got some really top guys coming through the ranks, man. So why not, man? Let's, you know, I feel like you know, obviously the Irish had their MMA, you know, the kind of like the rise in the MMA. The Welsh have come strong the past couple of years, and you know, I think it'd be good to kind of like get some shows up north in Scotland and show everyone what we're about.
Yeah. Last fan question I'm going to take is from Mike McGill, and he's asking, Ross, who is the dream fight for you in your MMA career at the moment?
Oh, well, you know, before we got matched, MVP would be up there, like, but that's a tough one, isn't it? Like in any promotion. Oh God, here we go. You put me on a spot now. I don't know. Masvidal, I guess. Actually, Nick Diaz would be a good one because I think he's a bomber, and obviously, I love Nick Diaz. He's always going to be like the cooler and harder older brother. Even if he's been partying for the past 5 years, he's always gonna. I imagine he'll always be tougher than Nate. But that would be a cool matchup. You know what I mean? Nick Diaz. Let's go.
Yeah, that would be a good one. So yeah, Ross, like I said, we've had you for 30 minutes now. I don't want to keep you too long because I know you've got a pretty hectic schedule of training and everything now with the fight coming up. But anything you want to say?
Warzone.
What's that?
I'm just gonna go in Warzone after this. Nothing crazy. Nah, man. Just respect and like thanks to everyone who's supporting me along this long crazy journey. You know, obviously, apologies for the delay. You know, we're not fought for a year, but mark my words, it's going to be worth it when I get in there October 10th and smash MVP, get the job done, and then I'll come in for world title number 2. Trust me.
Brilliant. Well, Ross, just want to say again a big thank you for joining us, buddy. Great to have you back. Great to have you competing again. And we look forward to seeing you fight MVP. And yeah, all the best, and we'll speak to you soon, okay?
MVP head, we call him.
There we go.
All right, brother. Yeah, take it easy. Thanks a lot for having me.
Thanks a lot, Ross. I'll see you soon.
All right, see you later. Bye.